In the new world, we're going to redefine success. And success is going to be redefined according to our most authentic awareness of ourselves. Authenticity is not so simple as assuming that what you want, what you desire, is sincere to who you really are. Very easily, we could walk the earth under programming, manufactured thought, manufactured opinion. What we select and what we choose to experience, what we teach ourselves to like, to love, could very well have come from someone else or something else that's not original to who we are. Looking behind us, we went through a series of tests, trials, events, to where we could step outside of ourselves, look back and see, is that really who I am? Was I really being sincere or authentic? We make decisions and then we have to live out a discovery of why we made the decisions that we made. But first, we have to make the decisions. Our subconscious gets revealed through that. You made the decision, but why? Why did you choose that? Why did you choose that experience? Why did you choose that person? It takes seasons for it to be revealed why you did so. And through those seasons, we get to face ourselves in ways that we can't deny unless we are willful to deny, willful to reject the truth. All of us stands to be corrected, exposed, awakened to how artificial we were being. That South Node Libra was a thorough exercise in who we are when another person outside of ourselves gives us negative feedback for being who we understand ourselves to be or who we really feel inside of ourselves where authenticity is at. They're not going to like me if I like these things. They're not going to accept me if I believe in these things. They're not going to like me and accept me if this is what I'm about. They're not going to like me if I have an opinion contrary to theirs or a thought contrary to theirs. Ogun came down from the hill, covered in blood and fire. And that is you, Ogun, Mars, first house, Aries, Scorpio. These are the places in your life where you are covered in blood and fire. Covered in blood because it's where you are meant to have opposition, enemies. And the more authentic you are to yourself, the promise is truer of you overcoming and having victory over those enemies. That's what the blood was on Ogun. It was the blood of his enemies. And of course, this is in an allegorical sense. Please, by all means, no violence. In addition to that, coming down in fire, covered in fire, Ogun begat fire, which means that the trait of Ogun, it is inevitable that it causes controversy, objection, rejection, hot truth, which is anger, resistance, infamy over all. When you are being authentic, when you're really being yourself, you're going to be clothed in infamy at that first house, the eighth house, as well as Scorpio and Aries placement. These are the areas where you are guaranteed to walk in infamy from time to time. Infamy being, you love this person, but you still have to be yourself. It doesn't mean that you have to be a jerk. It doesn't mean that you have to be aggressive. But there will be times where you being yourself will cause someone else pain. And where someone else being their self will cause you pain. Where you being true to yourself will cause disappointment to others. And where others being their self will cause disappointment to you. That is the fire that covers Ogun because of authenticity, being true to the self. You have to accept that it comes with disappointing others, possibly offending others, irritating others. It comes with it, infamy. To be infamous, to accept being infamous from time to time. As far as the Scorpio placement in 8th house, this is where we have intimate connections in our life, whether it's in the workplace, in business, romantically, family. Intimate connections have an inevitable fate that there will be conflict. Conflict between the realities that two or more individuals share within the same interests that they are connected by, through, or to. And you still have a duty to be true to yourself, to be authentic, to be sincere, to be real. Without this meaning that you're being a jerk, being authentic to yourself, it can rub shoulders. It can cause arguments, fights, animosity, breakups, shakeups. It can put tension and animosity in the air, putting one against the other. As Christ said, I come to set daughter against mother, son against father. Christ's impulse represents wisdom and truth when we're aligned with it. Mars is the defender of the Christ impulse, the expresser of the Christ impulse. Ogun. So this is where you are covered in blood and fire. Infamy. Infamy. Understand. It's time to accept infamy over your life, infamy over your identity, infamy over yourself. If you are going to be authentic, you have to accept the infamy that comes with that. There's a small audience when you're authentic. There are less friends to count when you're authentic. There's less agreement when you are authentic. We are no longer in the Venus context of reality. That is the past world. We are now in the Mars context of reality. And this is Ogun that rules the context of the reality. That is disagreeable nature, in which is polarity. Venus is agreeable nature. We are now in disagreeable nature, and we have to get used to it. We have to accept it. It doesn't mean starting fights. It doesn't mean being toxic and overbearing. Be true to yourself, but that comes with smoke. You got to want the smoke of being yourself. You got to accept the smoke of being yourself, being true to you. Sagittarius new moon at 9 degrees. Of course, Sabian symbol, we're looking at the movement of the energy between 9 and 10 rather than 8 and 9. So 9 and 10 degrees Sagittarius new moon, the Sabian symbol, disregarding society's definition of success. Disregarding society's definition of success. Are you free to create your own ideal of success? Are you free yet? Are you free yet? You may have an idea in your heart of what success means to you. Let's say you're someone who says, hey, I don't like the idea of the house and the picket fence. I like the idea of, I don't know, an Astro van. And I go from city to city in the Astro van and be a beach bum. That's success to me, right? And people say, oh, that's crazy. That's not stable. What are you talking about? You can't live like that. Okay? But that's true to your heart. That's what you see is success for you. And other people may try to bring back the world's definition, the society's definition of success, which tends to go along the lines of how much money do you have? How much property do you have? How much clout, validation, and attention do you get and consume? How many followers, how many likes? What's your social media stats? What kind of car do you drive? What kind of house do you have? What does your credit look like? How much money you got in the bank? What type of labels do you wear in your clothes? What's your zip code? What community do you live in? Who do you know? Who are your friends? Who do you associate with? The shallow ideals of status, fame, and fortune is fallen. And it's fallen behind the gatekeepers of these ideals. The symbols of these ideals, the archetypes of these ideals, the celebrities. The celebrities are falling. They are old news. And we have to emphasize this because this is a living miracle to witness. Regardless of how much interest you had in celebrities, celebrities had a stronghold on the minds, the spirits, the opinions, the attitude, the self-perception of the people. And they're the ones who made it a commonly acceptable attitude of what those standards should look like, of what success should really look like. They were a great power behind that illusion of success. Music, movies that showed you visually, and the poetry of their music and the status of their personal interviews and affairs, looking back at self and making the mistake of comparing yourself to them. It meant a crisis in identity crisis. And the lower stars, the lesser stars on social media, the attractive, the charismatic, the influential, the high numbers of followers, likes and validation, the lesser celebrities, they kept that echo vibrating of what success should mean. You have to look like this. You have to talk like this. You have to dress in these kind of clothes. Your body has to look like this. You have to have this kind of thought process, this kind of opinion. Now, we were stripped of all of that. And when you're stripped of something, you have a very sharp sensitivity to the weather that's around you. Once you're stripped of layers, it's just like taking your clothes off. You feel if it's cold in a room, you feel if it's hot in the room. You can feel a breeze because you don't have clothes to break, to pose as a barrier between you and the weather of your environment. So when you're stripped of something, you're very sensitive to the atmosphere. You're very sensitive to the environment and what is really there. That's the point that we're at, stripped of what we were dressed in, what we were adorned in, stripped of it. Now we get to adorn ourselves with what is most authentic to our heart. What does that look like for you? What does that mean for you? What are some things about yourself that you desire to express, fulfill, or live out that you probably will get criticized for, you will get judged for, you will get laughed at? People will talk about you behind your back. People will call you crazy or stupid. Are you ready for the smoke? Are you ready for the infamy? If so, you can afford freedom. If you're ready to be infamous, you can afford freedom. If you can afford freedom, you can afford success to obtain it. And Sagittarius is where we understand the algorithm, the spiritual algorithm and impulses of freedom and how freedom works. Sagittarius. Sagittarius. Sagittarius is to do and then review, not review and then do. Sagittarius is to do and then review. So this is about following the heart and then reviewing with the mind. And in perfect balance, we have Mercury retrograde that's going to initiate very soon to give us those details, even as this new moon begins. So the polar impulse, Mercury, to Sagittarius, and the polar impulse of Sagittarius, you have Jupiter and Gemini. This is giving balance to exactly what otherwise could be missing, and taking risks or taking chances with our freedom, with our truth, or that is the alignment of truth, because there's only one truth, with our alignment to truth, with our reality, that is, and attempting to materialize it, going forward to materialize it, knowing that fear is going to be there, accepting that fear is going to be there. The fear is not going to go away. The fear is necessary. The fear should be welcomed, and we should embrace fear, not try to shoo it away, not try to stop it, not try to silence it. Embrace fear. Allow fear to have its voice with you. In doing so, acknowledge fear. Allow fear to teach you how to be wise in taking chances, how to be cautious and how to be wise in taking risks. Fear does not mean stop. Fear does not mean denial or don't go or don't do. Fear just means be wise as you do. That's all it means. And that's what we should do. Be wise as you do. We still must go forward, even though fear is with us. That defines courage. That defines courage. And we have to have courage. Grant us the courage to change the things that we can It's part of the serenity prayer, which begins in Scorpio. Father God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change. Grant us the courage to change the things that we can. This portion is Sagittarius. Grant us the wisdom to know the difference. Understand? Sagittarius, Scorpio. So here we're fulfilling the portion. Grant us the courage to change the things that we can. We see there are things that we can change. There are things that we can do to move forward, to start filling in and putting the furniture in our new world, which is a new reality that we have realized, that we have perceived. Acknowledging the fear, how do you go forward? Everything is in your favor. You're encouraged to go forward and make errors and mistakes. You're encouraged to go forward not knowing what exactly to do or what the outcome will be. There's blessings and there's grace in every single step and review. We get to define success this time, and we are free from having to consult celebrities or internet personalities with charisma or attractive people who are either deified or coveted for the looks and the image and the personality. It's the heart that's telling us what is or not. It's the heart that's letting us know what direction to go in to find our success. It's our heart. It's our heart that we're listening to now. Now we are the shining star, which is the sun, Leo, the true star, the true light, not the false light. And Leo represents the heart, fifth house. Understand? Your heart, soul, urge number has a beautiful description of exactly what it is you are to strive for to experience success. It clarifies what your soul is here to be fulfilled through. And the life path clarifies how you are going to go about it, what it will take. The fated experience that are there to transform you. Saturn in direct motion, you have the grit, you have the strength, you have the authority, you have the willpower, discipline, obedience to overcome any obstacles in the way. Saturn is now direct. The subconscious burdens, antagonism, doubt, shadows. Saturn has already brought you through those oppositions. Saturn has already given you victory and success over those shadows. It's tracing back over degrees that you have already prevailed through. And as you go forward, you're going to realize this, that you have indeed succeeded. You have made victory over those internal enemies of that 12th house. You are going to realize it. And as you realize it more and more, you'll see greater opportunity. What's possible for you. Disregarding society's definition of success. The corporate folded arms stance of success. College degrees, accolades. I got a PhD. Corporate this, corporate that. High heels and hard bottom shoes on the top of every skyscraper. That's not success anymore. No, it's not. That is no longer what success is. I'm an entrepreneur. I got a whole bunch of money. That's not success anymore either. I'm a celebrity and I'm making music and putting stacks of money up to my ear. That's not success. No, it's not. I look like this and you look like that. No, that has nothing to do with success. Matters of the heart and how we fulfill it through our reality on the physical plane. And in doing so, it has benefit that directly serves society, that directly serves the people. So if your idea of success does not have a portion in service of the people, it is not success. Success has a direct correlation to how you serve the people. A service that you provide, a service that you do, that you fulfill, that you offer, and it lights your heart up. It heals you. It emboldens you, it enriches you, it raises you as you do it. It gives you peace as you do it, satisfaction as you do so. Your success is in your service. My success is in my service. That's where our success is. Not in selfish ideals of becoming a consumer. Consumption. Consumerism is not success fulfilled. You work and work until you get to a status where you can be a bigger consumer, a greater consumer, where you can buy more products, buy more things. That is not success. That's greed, covetousness, lust of material, self-gratification, gluttony. No, narcissism. That's not success. So there's a service that you know you have to offer. And somewhere your success is upon that. It's already in your heart. And you will know exactly what that looks like very soon.